What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sync, your favorite new author. And this week, I want to do a little in-depth discussion about Phoenyx Ascended, aka Volume 2. The story basically picks up exactly where Volume 1 left off, with Makita flying off into the sky. She ends up into this little small town, you know what I'm saying, trying to lay low. In the little rural area, she ends up changing her ways a little bit. She's not that little hood joint that we know from Volume 1 as much. She comes across a few people, makes a few new relationships, but that time that she's fine, it doesn't last too long. So what happens is she ends up being pulled back to the city where she left, to connect some dots to some things that didn't make sense. I'm gonna leave it like that, but I'm gonna also put that in this story we get a lot more deeper than Volume 1. So if that was something that kind of turned you off a little bit about Volume 1, it wasn't as long as you liked it or didn't have as much details, this one definitely does a lot better job of getting you involved in the story. You get a lot more backstory as well, and a lot of things that may have not made sense in Volume 1 start to come together a lot better in Volume 2. First off, the first person I want to actually discuss is going to be Shantae Sketmet. Yeah, I don't know how I came up with that name, but anyway. This person ends up being someone very similar to Makita. She has powers like Makita. She's actually related to Makita. She has some unknown motives that kind of get explored a little bit in Volume 2. Definitely going to pick up on Volume 3, but her introduction is kind of a wow, where'd she come from type thing. But as you continue on through the story, you start to connect the pieces and you start to see what's going on. This person right here kind of has some of the same tendencies, but at the same tendencies as Makita, but at the same time, she's also very mysterious when she's first presented. And still a lot is not known, and we probably won't dive deeper into her until we get to Volume 3. But that's all I'm gonna say about her. Oh, another tidbit. She goes by the nickname Star, but you'll find out more when you read the book. Lieutenant Earthquake. Sounds like something straight out of a Marvel video. I know. But don't get me wrong, you get introduced to this character pretty early in the story, and he comes up being a straight up rival to Makita. How he's connected, you gotta read, of course. But he's another person who has some powers. His are a little different than Makita, and how he got his powers are really not explored in this one, but you do get some backstory, so you kind of can put two and two together how he got his powers. But let's just say he's going to be one of the main villains of the story, and well, let me not say villains, let's say protagonists of the story to Makita in accomplishing her goals. Hint, hint, they're going to meet up more than once. But that's all I'm going to say, because I want you to dive into the story and check it out for yourself. Both Shantae and Ben Horace, they are the parents of Makita. We find out in the first volume that they're killed in a bad drug interaction, but not much more is explored. Let's just say with Volume 2, we get a lot deeper and we find out some things are not as what they seemed or what they perceived to be back in the past. But to get more, you got to make sure you read the stories. Today I'm going to talk briefly about the character that goes by the name Sombra. Sombra's first introduced in Volume 1. She's kind of like the shadowy figure that is in the background, but you don't get too much information. Think of her more so in the lines of, I don't know if you watched Inspector Gadget growing up like I did, but the evil villain, I can't think of his name, but Claw, that's the name. Think of him as Claw, but you know how Claw never shows their face? Well, that's the impression that you get from Volume 1. In Volume 2, we find out exactly who Sombra is and find out exactly how she's related to Makita. But for more information, you got to read the book. This is my final character drop for this week while we're looking at volume 2 of the Phoenyx series, Ascended. I knew I said I wasn't gonna do this one at first because it didn't make sense, but guess what? I changed my mind. It makes perfect sense. The last character drop is going to be Makita, our actual I messed that up a couple videos ago. Makita's our protagonist. Forgive me. English class, English 101 has been a long ways away. Anyway, Makita, our hero of the story. In volume 2, let's just say she grows. We get to see more sides of her than we saw in the first volume. I know the first volume, if you was reading, she could come off a little ratchet to some people. Volume 2, that kind of tones down a little bit, but it's still a part of her, true to her actual who she is as a person. But we also see a more softer side of Makita. We get to see her express emotions and feelings more in this volume. Another thing I want to say, we get to explore her powers that she receives in volume 1 a lot more. So I'm not gonna give too much away. Just make sure you pick up volume 2, drop a review on Amazon for me, and I appreciate it. It's your boy Sync signing off. Peace.